guys, Jay, welcome back to the channel. So guys, this is an absolutely crazy week. I just got back from San Diego Comic-Con 2025, and of course, while I was there, they announced the crowdfund for the Mattel Creations Snake Lair. Now, this is the Snake Lair 2.0, and they made the announcement that it would be crowdfunding beginning on August 1st. That's today. But new information has come forward, and I wanted to take a deep dive and see exactly what was covered, or more appropriately announced by Mattel Creations, as this new information is very, very important and really does help to, I guess, make it easier to crowdfund this project, because the initial price tag was pretty scary. But now, with this new set of information, I think people will be more interested in backing this project, as $300 is quite the ask for this new Snake Lair base set. Without further ado, let's take a look and see exactly what was announced on MattelCreations.com, because this one is really important to take a look at. Let's have a look, everybody. So, over at MattelCreations.com and on their Instagram page, they're showcased some of the highlights for the Master of the Universe, including, of course, this wonderful moment where everyone raised their swords aloft to declare that we have the power. And if you are looking very, very carefully, you can see our good friend Mike right there, front and center, raising his sword with his fiance. It was a beautiful moment. So much, in fact, that he wasn't really concentrating that much. It was absolutely glorious. Huge shout out to Mike over at Showing Your Royalty. Give him a like and a follow. Tell him that Jay sent you. But of course, the bigger deal was, in fact, the announcement of the Snake Lair playset. Now, this, of course, is Snake Lair 2.0, as it was coined by the Toy Sorceress, and it is the upgraded version of the Snake Lair, returning to its roots, and of course the design that was created by Axel Jimenez. It looks absolutely glorious. We were there to take a first-hand look at this wonderful design, and I wanted to take a deep dive and talk about what was announced for this particular Snake Lair. But before we get into that, let's take a look at some of the photos that were provided by our good friends over at toyhabits.com. They are a wonderful news resource for toy news all year round. Give them a like and a follow. Tell them that Jay sent you. Heading over to their article on the Snake Lair, this Snake Lair 2.0 has official pre-order images, which were posted by good friends of the channel, Mundo Masters on Instagram, and allowed for us to really take a deep dive into what this playset has to offer. So let's take a look, everybody. There it is, the Snake Lair. Now, if you guys remember, this was actually announced as the crowdfund last year. But unfortunately, there was such a mixed reaction to the original Snake Lair design. The fact that it was massive. It was absolutely massive. And a lot of people were just taken aback by that. It actually did rival the size of Eternia. This new Snake Lair is a lot more compact. It really is what I think a lot of people were hoping for in the Snake Lair. And it sticks very, very close to the original design of Axel Jimenez. If we take a look at it here on the back of Fangor's box art, you can see just how much they've really gone back to the original design with the wonderful snake face, which a lot of people are actually saying that this could actually double as a Cobra Snake Lair for Cobra Commander, Destro, and of course the forces of Cobra from G.I. Joe, a real American hero. And I do not disagree. It looks absolutely stunning. Going back to this, you really can see how they took those inspirations from Axel Jimenez's original designs and have pretty much recreated it right here in action figure form, and it's absolutely glorious. Right off the bat, you can see that there's a lot of wonderful details here, including real metal chains, the front door, which has that snake heraldry of Lady Slither in the front, the snake staff, which actually is the way to open up the gate. It's a secret way of doing it, according to the actual lore, but it really is a wonderful nod to Castle Grayskull in that sense. It has two torches at the front, and of course that huge snake heraldry right at the front gates. The massive snake head, those snakes on the left and the right, really hearkening to the actual packaging design of the Snake Men on Masters of the Universe. I love it. If you look further down on the actual ground, you can see that there are skulls embedded into the Snake Lair itself, giving the idea that this fortress was actually built on the bones of fallen warriors. It was so stunning to see this in person. and we'll take a look at some closer imagery a little later on. At the top, we can see that it does have that gate, the actual what's it called? I guess guardrail, where you can actually put guards at the top. But it really does double as that handle, very much in the same style as Masters of the Universe, Castle Grayskull, and Snake Mountain. It's just glorious. It does have that little ring at the top. Again, I'm trying to figure out what those things are for. I don't know if they're for hanging people or if it's for another torch, but it really is an interesting design. We do have an actual smaller tower here on the left-hand side. And right at the top, we actually have those, I guess, stocks. That's the stockade, where prisoners can actually be locked up with their arms, with their hands shackled to the left and right, and their head literally pinched right in the middle. It's glorious. To the left of the castle, we can see that wonderful snake tower, which actually telescopes up and down to actually use as a defensive position, included with ray guns inside of the mouth of the snake itself. We can see that there is an entrance at the left side of the snake lair with that gated tower, very much in the same style as Snake Mountain. And at the top, we do see the snake heraldry, which is a symbol on many of the snake men on their chests, which is amazing. We also see that additional ring right there on the side, very much in the style of Master Universe. And we do have that wonderful gun turret, which is, again, lifted off of the original design from Axel Jimenez. Moving down further, we do see those chains, once again, being able to shackle people as an exterior makeshift jail cell. And we do see an actual sewer grate, which is very much in the style of the Barbarian, of any sort of like medieval type of sewer, which is just exposed to the elements. And on the left-hand side here, at the bottom of the base, we can actually see some sort of dragon type of creature. Is it one of the great dragons which was slain by the snake men? Who knows? But it's also being used as a base to build on top of, on the base of bones, which is used to build on top and create the base for the snake tower. Incredible. Moving on to the inside, this was glorious to behold in person. It really was amazing. We do see here that the snake tower is controlled by this computer console. And this computer console, again, harkens back to the idea of the Master Universe, Castle Grayskull, Snake Mountain. It really is in that style, and I love it. We found out during the presentation that this is actually a trap door, something which is hidden from non-snake personnel. And there's a button right here which actually allows it to drop down. And if you position this snake trap, the trap itself is like a closing cone, which allows you to trap unsuspecting intruders, and it actually ensnares them in sort of a grasp type of idea. It's great. Behind there, we also saw that there was actually a nest. This is actually lifted from the original snake design from the first version of the snake lair. It's really great that they actually kept that in. I love that. There's also an elevator here, which brings snake, actually anybody, it doesn't have to be a snake man or anything, but it brings passengers from the bottom of the tower all the way to the top of the top of the tower here on the second level. This is also a, I guess, area where you can, it's kind of weird, there actually is no platform here. So you'd have to actually use the elevator to actually get into the snake tower itself. Very interesting. On the other side, we do see that the Iron Maiden has been brought inside the castle. Now, this is a really crazy device. You open it up and it does have those spikes on the inside. Absolutely haunting. And of course, we do have Lady Slither's throne room right at the top, above the gated entrance. So you actually, when you enter from the front of the entrance, there's actually this gate that can come down and roll up, which is a beautiful, beautiful touch. I love that. There's more heraldry here at the bottom. And when you get into the main foyer, you have to look up to see Her Highness, the Lady Slither, atop her throne. And this is just glorious. We can see this golden throne here with all this snake heraldry. And on the left and the right, we can see that the two snakes are literally dripping blood. At least that's what I think this is. Could be just drapes, I don't know. But on the back, we see that wonderful heraldry of the snake lair. And of course, there is an effigy of Lady Slither herself. Absolutely thrilling. Up further, we do see that traditional rickety ladder. I just don't understand what it is about these Eternians. They just love their ladders, which are just created by bamboo or whatever it is. But there it is, once again, created for the stake tower. And you use this to actually climb all the way to the top of the stake tower, where you can place either those stockades or this wonderful cannon right at the top. In freaking incredible. The tower itself closes, and it's a beautiful rendition and really harkens back to the idea of Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain. And it really has this nice footprint compared to the first version of the Snake Mountain, which was just absolutely gargantuan. Again, I didn't actually mind what they were doing with the first Snake Mountain, the Snake Lair, but this one I think is much more in line with what I would appreciate for the Snake Lair. The other side really does look like a tower, and I really appreciate the fact that when it's actually closed, it does look complete. It doesn't actually look like it's, made of gaps or anything like that. Very much like Castle Grayskull. You can either display it from the front or from the back, and it still looks amazing. Here is some of the stretch goals, as well as some amazing looks at the figures, which are, of course, the additions to the Snake Lair itself. This is the double-headed Chimera. And I am absolutely thrilled with this. The overall design is inspired. I love the way it looks. And he's not the biggest animal companion in the actual Master Universe, but what he lacks in size, he makes up for in personality. Actually, I'm not even sure it's a he. I actually do believe it's a she. And zooming closer, you can see that wonderful snake head for the Chimera. It's just absolutely stunning. The jaw itself, the mandible, is movable, articulated, and it looks like there's even articulation in the top of the head as well. The neck is also articulated, as well as the legs, which are very much borrowed off of characters like Cringer. I love the fact that they've actually brought this forward. As a matter of fact, I think Strider also has a similar set of leg motions as well. The details in the scale work is just gorgeous. I mean, someone had to go in and actually sculpt each and every one of those scales. That must have taken an eternity. The saddle itself is wonderfully seated, and of course, there she is, the skeletal version of Lady Slither, and she looks absolutely haunting. She does have a soft goods cape, as well as her legs, which can be replaced by her bony tail, which is absolutely inspired. The Chimera also has this armored tail, which looks so great. And is it just me, or does she actually have the color scheme of 3030? I don't know if that was intentional. I'm not really sure, but I think it looks absolutely stunning. The other figure who is also included in the stretch goals is High Priest Pythonus. High Priest Pythonus. He, of course, is another Axel Jimenez designed character, and it's finally great to see him fully realized in action figure form. Good friend of the channel, Mr. Home Arcade, actually did do had a custom made of High Priest Pythonus, but this one here, in its finally fully realized form, looks stunning. I do love the way he is designed. He has those wonderful scale work on his body. The legs themselves are obviously lifted from a regular Master Universe buck, and the feet are also borrowed from Skeletor. The shin pads are from multiple other characters, but I do love the new designs for the cloth in front of his attached to his belt. The kilt that's attached to his belt, and of course he has his own sword as well as a staff, which I think is absolutely beautiful. His headdress, of course, is inspired from other priests in very much an Egyptian type of idea. And he has that new armor piece as well as those gauntlets. Beautiful. This guy's face is absolutely stunning. And I'm really impressed at the fact that they finally have released images of High Priest Pythonus. These two are actually stretch goals in the line. And originally, we were looking at 10,000 backers for the entire set. That has since changed, and we'll get to those details in a minute. I really am excited for the Chimera. It looks so good. Lady Slither, of course, is looking stunning in her new skeletal form. With her bony tail, she's looking even more sinister and hauntingly beautiful. I just love this overall design. The the version of the tail really is inspired, and even though this is more of a retooling of the original tail, it really is a wonderful testament to the design aspects for the toy design of Master Universe. I love it. Here we can see some characters interacting with the playset itself. We see Mossman in stocks. We see Fangor trying to get to the top of the tower. Lord Grasp manning the blaster, but whatever it is, he's hanging on to that skull for dear life. Somebody in the comment section is going to be yelling at me for right now for who this is, but it is another Axel Jimenez design. So there you go. A whole bunch of other characters now interacting with the tower itself. We have Cobra Khan at the top, just firing away with the blaster itself, and Fangor inside the tower, I guess, trying to get up there as well. And everybody's just trying to climb to the top of the tower for being king of the castle, if you will. Here we have Cobra Khan entering the snake lair itself, and there actually is a platform. I didn't realize that, so that's great. I love the fact that there is a platform there, and we have Extendar falling through the trap door, and you can see him almost being trapped by the snakes themselves. I love it. Once you're trapped inside the snakes, they literally grasp onto you, and the poor Mossman. And there we have Lady Slither herself atop her throne. She looks glorious. This is going to be a great crowdfund, but I do have to admit the price tag is quite hefty. At $300, this set is not cheap, and it's going to take a little bit of convincing to get people to back this project. And I think Mattel had recognized that, and asking 10,000 backers for the entire set might have been just a little bit too much to ask for people. So they have reconfigured the overall stretch goals. And let's take a look at that right now. Heading back over to toyhabits.com and going back to the article itself, if we go right back to the top, they have highlighted all of the new details for the snake lair and the requirements for the entire backing process. In order for the snake lair to get fully funded, it needs 6,000 backers. This will allow for the playset to be fully funded, and as a bonus, they are actually including the Chimera, Lady Slither's steed, as part of the overall package once the set is backed. This is absolutely incredible. The Chimera itself, of course, is an animal companion, and those are traditionally more expensive than the singular actual figures, particularly because this one actually has two heads as well as a number of points of articulation. This is a great move on Mattel's part. I really applaud this. At 8,000 backers, this unlocks the High Priest Pythonus, and this is another great move as another action figure unlocked at only 2,000 additional backers is a great idea. I love the fact that we're going to get both characters at only 8,000 backers, and there is no longer a third tier at 10,000 backers, which is excellent, meaning that at the very least, if we hit 8,000 backers, we will get two figures, one being an animal companion and the other one being an actual figure in the line. Actually done something really, really intelligent, and I think that this is probably the best move. As an early backer bonus, fans who back the project by 11:59 p.m. on August 14, 2025 will receive the newly sculpted skeletal Lady Slither figure, which comes with both legs and a new tail sculpt. That is a great move. Very much in the same way that early backers of Eternia would be getting King Grayskull as their early backer bonus. They have just done a wonderful idea here, and I think it's the right move, that early backers will be getting skeletal Lady Slither. This is a wonderful way to reorder the actual tiers themselves, and not having to reach 10,000 backers is one of the best ideas, I think. I think at 8,000 backers, getting all three tiers, especially with the early backer bonus, I think this is a great idea. $300 for the set, plus you get everything as long as you are early bird backer. This is really, I think, a really great way to get people to back this project. So the asking $300 because of the additional tooling and the new design of the snake lair itself, I think I can really see the value in this at $300. I know that there are going to be people who are saying that $300 is just way too much money for a playset like this, but I'll be honest with you, we have not had a new playset in the Master Universe at all. It hasn't been a brand new playset in 40 years. So this is a real key item for Master Universe fans, as it is the is the final faction, uh, if you will, because if you think about it, the Master Universe, heroes have Castle Grayskull. The villains have traditionally have had Snake Mountain, whereas the evil horde even had the Fright Zone. But the Snake Man pretty much had nowhere to go. They continued to try and invade Eternia, but Eternia was the great battleground where anyone could take it over and become, the master of Eternia. So this this final piece, this final crown jewel of the Snake Lair, is the final piece of the puzzle, and it would be a shame if we didn't get this into our collections. I understand $300 is a bit pricey, but in terms of its overall value, I think for everything that they're offering right now with the rearranged requirements uh, as highlighted here, I think that if you are a fan of the Master Universe and you really want the Snake factions to actually have a place to call their own, I think that you couldn't do any worse than $300 for a Snake Lair. After all, Eternia was something in the range of almost $500. So this is $200 cheaper, and with brand new tooling, brand new accessories, new animal mounts, new figures we've been looking forward to. Um, and I'm really, really excited at the whole idea of a brand new playset. Funding starts later today, guys, and that is pretty substantial as the overall design of this is brand new and reworked from the ground up. And I'm very, very excited that we are getting a second chance at backing this amazing new playset for the Master Universe. Let me know in the comment section below, guys, what are your thoughts about the playset of the Snake Lair? Is this something that you guys are looking forward to, or is it really at $300 just a bit too much money for your blood? Because this to me is something worth backing, but I'm not gonna tell anybody what to do. This one is really up to you. If it's something that you want to back and you want a Chimera, you want Lady Slither, you want Lord Pythonus, High Priest Pythonus into your collections, this might be the only chance we get to actually get any of these characters. But I do understand $300 is a big ask. And as I said, this one is definitely one where you have to really make a decision, as this one is going to be a really hard sell for many people in the community. So this is definitely one of those cases where I'm not going to ask anybody or implore to anybody to actually go and back this project. This one really is one of those projects you really have to want. It cannot be something where someone just basically says, "Hey, we need this. This is absolutely the playset that we've always wanted." No. As far as places go, this is the one playset that is brand new at the gate. It's never been done before. And I think that's actually the charm of it, the fact that it is the missing piece of the Master Universe. And for me, that's the reason why I'm backing this, because it will complete all of the factions in their entirety. Myself, I am going to go in on this. And of course, you have until August 28th to back this project, 28 days starting today. And you don't actually have to put any money down. All you have to do is make your pledge. And if it funds, then we all get the Snake Lair. It says right in this section on the Master Universe Snake Lair FAQ, when will I be charged? No worries. You won't be charged unless the campaign reaches the minimum goal of 6,000 backers by August 28th, 2025 at 11:59 p.m. The pre-order amount will show as pending on your credit card. When the campaign succeeds, your payment will be processed. If it does not succeed, your pre-order will be canceled and the pending changes will disappear. So according to Mattel, they will not charge your card until the campaign funds. So there is that to look forward to. Let me know in the comment section below, guys, what are your thoughts about the Snake Lair in this 2.0 version? Is it everything that you were hoping for, or is it a little bit short on the mark and you will not be backing this project? Myself personally, I definitely am going to be putting my money where my mouth is and getting this Snake Lair if it funds. And I hope that the rest of you will join me. But I'm not going to tell you that this is the absolute best thing in the world for you. It might be for me, but this is definitely something that you have to make your own decision on, as it's a lot of money. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please do leave me a like. It really does help me out. Toy News continues in 2025, everybody, and my coverage of the San Diego Comic-Con 2025 convention continues. I'll be posting more videos as we speak. As a matter of fact, you should check out this one where I check out Mattel's booth and just basically gush over all of the 2000X figures. I hope to see you guys there. I hope you're all doing well, staying safe. And as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. Oh, the snake lair. Finally, Lady Slither has somewhere to put her hat. Good journey, everybody. Be proud.